Hey guys, Keith Keller, Melbourne, Australia. We are having so much fun and we haven't even started. So, daylight saving happened in the US over the weekend, and we're all trying to work out where everyone is. So, I put my clock forward, and Amalia had trouble getting her clock to work, and we're having so much fun. But anyway, this is just technical challenges that you have to sort of put up with when you're a creator. We got a big show today, big show. We've got a lot to do, and I'd love you to join. We can have up to 10 guests on stage at the moment. We have this show going to LinkedIn and to YouTube. You can actually send the file to up to 30 places. We're talking about this exactly today. The show is called Multistreaming 101. Right now, the first question everyone's asking is, well, what is multi-streaming, Keith? What does that word mean? So the word means that we can send the file, each of us, to 3 places. If you're a guest on the stage, and we can have 10 guests, we can send this to 3 places: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, whatever you want. So that we're going to talk a lot about this. If you do have any questions, I'd love you to join in the chat. I've got my chat sort of activated now. As you know, just as a bit of a sort of a information session, we have a lot of shows, 3 shows a week until the end of April, and we've got really cool guests to talk about this today. Amalia is calling in from Detroit, and she's going to talk about how she uses this sort of format. Americo is calling in from Toronto. He's going to talk about this, and big favorite for me, if you could follow Americo's YouTube channel. We'll talk about this in a minute. YouTube has to have 50 followers or subscribers before you can stream. So they've put a limit on that, and so Americo can't, in spite of his awesomeness, cannot stream yet to YouTube. We're going to work on that today. So I'm sending the file to LinkedIn and YouTube. I can send it to 3, but I'm saving my third one for my favorite site at the moment, which shall remain nameless. And I'll tell you about that in a minute. It's not currently available. I'm working in the background to get that working. One of the questions we're going to ask is, if you are wanting to multi-stream, where are you going to send it? And there's actually a poll. There's a poll in the comments that asks that question. Other than LinkedIn, what else are you using? Are you using YouTube? Are you using Facebook? Are you using Instagram or other? Twitter, maybe. Perhaps TikTok, maybe Reddit. We keep hearing about Reddit. So that's going to be here. One of the things I'm going to talk a lot about today, you may not have seen this yet. Restream has completely reinvented the way we do these shows. And we now have what I'm calling a camera off environment. I'm so excited. There's actually a camera off environment. So if you do want to come on stage, you're very welcome to do that. Turn your camera off, add your thumbnail, and then we'll bring you up to ask questions. So we'll do that in a minute. We're actually going to talk at great length about Restream because that's my favorite site. There are others, of course, and we'll talk about those as well. But this is the main one we're going to talk about. So let me introduce the guests. We have an action-packed show today. I'm going to go ladies first. Amalia, tell us what you think of multi-streaming and how you do it, and what does that word mean, and where do you send the files?
Actually, I'm a big fan of multi-streaming, and I didn't know about it, or I should say I didn't really partake in multi-streaming until LinkedIn got rid of audio rooms. But for myself, I stream to LinkedIn, either my profile page or my business page. I did learn, you know how they allow you to do 3 or 5 streaming platforms at a time? Well, LinkedIn only allows you to pick one. So you can't stream both to your LinkedIn business page as
Okay.
well as your
Yep.
profile at the same time. So I learned that the hard way.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, let me just play this graphic out a bit. So you can send your file to LinkedIn, but only one of the choices. So you can't have a LinkedIn profile and a LinkedIn page or a LinkedIn group. You can only do one of the three. I didn't know that, but it does make sense. I'm guessing Facebook's the same. You got a Facebook group, a Facebook page, a Facebook profile. Try saying that really fast. Um, and I don't think you could do all three. And I think only YouTube only has one format, like your channel. But very interesting to know because if multi-streaming becomes a thing, we've got to ask the question: where do we send the file? Where is everything? What's working for us? What I've decided today for the first experiment, I'm sending the file to LinkedIn as normal, but I'm also sending it to YouTube because I have quite a decent following on YouTube relatively, and I've got a channel already. So YouTube has this lovely feature called playlists. So every time the show goes to YouTube, at the end of the show, I'll just add it to a playlist and it'll become like a folder of my shows forever and ever and ever. Such a good idea. What about you, America? What are you going to try and do? I know you've got a big Instagram following, but we're debating whether to send that in 916. Um,
Yeah,
what are you thinking?
so that's where I'm torn, and you and I have spoken, and we're going to go into more detail probably throughout the show. But I am multi-streaming to my Instagram business account as well as LinkedIn, sitting in the wings waiting for that 50 subscriber threshold to kick in so that I can also stream on YouTube. But that's where I get torn. It's IG will allow you to host in both 16:9 and 9:16 aspect ratio, but it favors 9:16. If you're streaming on 16:9, it looks distorted when you're replaying it on your profile. So aesthetically, as much as I want to stream with good intention, I'm kind of torn as to how to do it effectively without altering the viewer experience, because it's something I'm still trying to wrap my head around.
Yeah. Well, let me just pick up on what's happening here. So there's two basic ideas with streaming. One is 16:9, which is panoramic, like looking at the TV or watching it on a laptop or your PC or a Mac. And that's the format that I prefer: landscape mode, portrait, panoramic mode. It's sort of cinematic. I like this format. But Instagram and TikTok prefer 916, the format of having it on your phone. And if you use Instagram and TikTok, you'll know what I mean. I don't use either, but apparently they're both very, very popular. So if you wanted to stream in 916, you could do that on Instagram and TikTok, which you're allowed, you can do on Restream now, or you can use, say, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, maybe Twitter, X, and some others. And there's no wrong or right answer. It's based on where your followers are, where your clients are. What do you think, Amalia? Where are your followers?
All my followers, I should say, are on LinkedIn. I am slowly growing my YouTube channel, but LinkedIn is where it's at right now.
Yeah, well, LinkedIn has 1 billion users, but 300 million of them use it every day, 30%. So, and it's a business oriented network. We know what's happening here. We know we're here to connect with people and chat to people and do business and have fun. We're not here to share cat videos and birthday party videos of young kids in pink dresses blowing out pink birthday candles. I mean, that's not what LinkedIn's about. Although if you wanted to do that, that would be fine too. But I don't think you'd get many. I don't think you'd get much traction. Who knows? I mean, sometimes it's good to show your personal side. Thank you so much, Diana. If you'd like to come up and speak too, we're just going to run through some basic content and then we'll actually bring everyone in to the call. We can have actually up to 10 people on the show. And Diana has subscribed to your YouTube channel. Americo. So that's a pretty cool win. Michael is calling in from San Francisco today. That's interesting. So Michael, jump in if you want to talk. Sandra is talking also. Where is Sandra today? Sandra is in the San Francisco Bay Area as well. Actually, no, look, I think I got that wrong. Sandra is in San Francisco. Michael is calling in from it with his thousands of followers are on Discord. So actually, this is a very good point. You can't stream a restream file to Discord. Unfortunately, that is not part of the rhythm yet. But maybe they'll add that later. I'll send you a file. I'll send you a link in a minute, Diana. It's a clumsy system. I have to send you the file. We can only have 10 people on stage at one time, but I'll do it. Sandra is there. I'll send you all a copy of the file. We'll run through some of the basic principles, and then we'll bring you all up on stage to ask how you do it. We can have 10 people. And Chris is there in Mantalocking, New Jersey. So that's pretty cool. Now, let me get my head around this. I want to ask Americo, given that this is a big theme today, why do you want to stream to YouTube as your plan B? Tell me what you want to do there. What's going on there?
So it's the whole conversation around putting all my eggs in one basket. We've learned through the coming and going of TikTok, Periscope, and many other platforms that have come and gone. And who's to say that tomorrow LinkedIn decides that they don't like my tone, the authority that I'm trying to portray on their platform, and they decide, America, we're going to pull the plug on you. Where do I go to? I don't have anything. I have platforms that I've set up accounts, like my Instagram account, which in comparison is light years away from catching up to my LinkedIn audience. But I got to move these placeholder accounts and ensure that they become active so that I can raise awareness and be seen, heard, and remembered on these platforms, and kind of tie it into my entire personal branding message. I help my customers be seen, heard, and remembered, and it's incumbent upon me to be able to do the same and demonstrate how I can grow an audience on these other platforms.
Look, you've said a couple of really valuable things there. I've had fervent arguments about the idea of a plan B. Oh, mate, there's so many. I just want to do one. Well, that's a good idea. But what happens if you wake up one day and LinkedIn says, guess what? We don't agree with what you're posting. We've changed. The leadership has changed. Someone else bought the company, and we've decided we're not allowing you to post pictures of girls blowing out pink candles at their birthday party, singing happy birthday, if that's what you do. We don't like what you're doing. You can't use LinkedIn anymore, and we're banning you. And that can do that because, this is not your company. They can set the rules. And this has happened to me several times. So you've got to have a plan B. So at the moment, for me, I'm sending this file to LinkedIn and I'm sending it to YouTube. We're going to have a really robust chat with the people in the group today about how to do that and what other things you can do. Diana, if you want to come on stage, could you please add your thumbnail? It's just a simple matter of adding an image from your C drive up into you'll get 3 dots on your page and it'll say change avatar, and then you'll be able to add your thumbnail. Otherwise, we're just seeing you as a DS. We're just seeing your initials, which doesn't look very cool. We've got lots and lots and lots of chats. I think today, Amolia, we have a very strong chance of hitting the 100 comments mark again. Can you tell us how that happened and how many sites are you sending the file to?
So usually I try to do 3. I usually do Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And the way we reach that high number, I love the fact that when we're streaming, all of our comment sections are paired into your one restream platform right now. And for those that are in the background or live here on stage with you, we can see all of the comments that are happening from every person that is streaming all of their platforms. So we not only are being introduced to your network, we are getting introduced to Americo and who else decide to stream. So it's like networking live and, like, I should say 10x visibility.
Now, let me explain how that works. Sandra is coming in as a paired comment. What that means is she's listening to this show on something other than what I do. And I get a little message to say, "Hey, you've got someone that you might not yet know. I do know, but in this case, I might not." She's listening on your YouTube, on your LinkedIn account, Amolia. Isn't that cool?
It is. It is.
And we've actually worked out a way. It's very, very complex. I'm not sure I want to go in it today, but we've actually worked out a way that you can actually make comments on our Discord account. I'll talk about this in a minute in a subsequent show. Amolia uses a really cool site called Heartbeat for her community. It's very lovely. It's very visual. It looks very easy to use. I use Discord. Very similar idea, just a different provider. And Cybervision has found a way to make comments on Discord, which is very, 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 very cool. So what I might do now, the room is starting to fill up. What I might do is I might actually start bringing in the guests. All lad Mike there, Virginia. I don't know what's happened there. Diana's there, and Mike is there. And can you see? I love this. I just love this. Can you see how each person's thumbnail determines the color of the background? This is a very important piece of information to know. Hang on there, Diana. So this is what multi-streaming looks like on Restream with your camera off. The actual picture of the thumbnail suggests a little bit of the background color. And if you see this working now, I'm sort of there with skin tone, but there's slightly different version there, Diana. Don't you think that looks cool?
I do. I like that.
So this is very, very important. How are you using multi-streaming, or the idea of Discord? Restream. And what's your favorite? What's your favorite site?
I am just learning Restream. I was subscribed to StreamYard, and I wasn't happy with the background options on StreamYard, and it got a little too expensive, and I wasn't really needing to stream. But I would like to learn more about the LinkedIn Lives and learn this platform better, because when you go to do an event that you use Zoom for, which I'm using Zoom all the time because I'm very familiar with it, LinkedIn doesn't like those third-party links. And so when you're putting out the event notice and you're sending out posts and things like that, you don't get a wide distribution. And I wanted to see how the distribution would be if it was a LinkedIn Live. I thought they would be happier with that. Yeah. So therefore, I need to learn Restream, and I have started a YouTube channel. I have 16 subscribers, sweet 16. So I put my link in the chat, and you're all welcome to go and just subscribe to the channel. It's free. And what I work with is my company's Mindful Job Alignment. And I help job seekers and people in transition, people thinking about making a change, with both the mindful emotional side of job search and the tactical side of job search. I work in both areas. I work actually part-time for Lee Hecht Harrison. I'm a branding specialist for Lee Hecht Harrison. So I'm writing resumes all day long. But on YouTube, what I have are some recordings of the job seeker groups that I do every other Friday. I do a free job seeker group. I'm doing one this Friday, and Kenneth Lang is joining me. He's my colleague, and we're going to talk about all things resumes this Friday. And then later in the month, I'm going to start a master class, which will be on Saturdays. Starting a new format with that, doing it on a Saturday to try to get the people who are working. And I'm going to experiment with that. But growing my business and love talking with people about what they're up to. The other thing I'm working with and teaching is people who might want to move out of W-2 employment and getting into more of a portfolio career as entrepreneurs. So I have yet to meet an unhappy entrepreneur.
Well, yeah. W2, you're talking about 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, one job,
Correct.
one boss.
Correct. Oh, yes, because we probably call it W-2, 9 to 5ers.
Yeah.
People who want to move away from that. So
Yeah.
that's
Well,
what I'm here.
you'll get to see a very good example. We got a lot of comments in here, and I'll bring them in. This is a very lovely site visually, isn't it? Visually, this is a lovely site. Now,
Yes, it is.
I've chosen that background as an orange, but it could be blue, it could be purple, it could be a number of other things. The choices here are innumerable, and I'll work you through some of the choices as the groups come in. But I'll tell you what I might do. I might bring in Michael, because Michael has got this really cool job seeker group. There's some synergy here. Tell us about your
I
job
know
seeker
Michael.
group on Go Brunch, and how are you doing it? And meet Diana. I think there's actually some synergy there.
Yeah.
So what are you doing
Um,
there, Michael?
I am kicking off or attempting to kick off a platform. Go Brunch is a very uh what's the word I'm looking for? It has stick to itiveness, shall we say. Um, the only one thing that's missing is what I call textual permanence. But the idea is to create a platform for job seekers, um, for networking specifically, and also just what Diane talked about, which is pivoting to more entrepreneurial uh, uh, position. Particularly, I think we have this concept of scarcity, meaning we have skills that can be used to create income. But I think we've relegated ourselves to working for the corporate America, the corporation,
Mhm.
and I think we need to look at that and kind of retool and you know think about starting our own.
Is this the room you want me to show? I mean, Michael, you've got to follow Michael. Michael is
Yep.
probably the best person that I personally know at making these rooms look funky. Like
Mhm.
these rooms are created in DALI. I use Microsoft Designer, which is very similar. And Michael just has a skill at making these look fantastic. How are you doing that, mate? Tell us about it. And what can we tell us what you're doing with your rooms? They're just so good.
Well, the challenge is learning how to prompt. It's basically all in the prompt. Um, and I actually just put my the actual Go Brunch link. One of the things that's good about Go Brunch is it's not really it doesn't require an app, so it's browser based. So if you follow that link, I think you have to add an avatar and stuff, but then you're in, and you'll see this immersive. It's just incredibly immersive. I don't even know how to explain it. And what happens is when you enter that room, you are you are presented as these little circles. Now these little circles have avatars, or you can switch to your cam. So unlike Zoom, which you have these huge pictures and you can't fit everyone in, I think I had 50. Now I have what's called a stacked room. So I have three layers. I have the roof, a middle part, and then a basement. And so the roof actually has a pitch deck for job seekers that people can look at asynchronously. So obviously you don't have to be there. I'm actually right in the middle of an expo. Um, uh, there's a woman that puts on, I think every 3 months she puts on an expo for people that are using Go Brunch. and tomorrow will be the second day of that. So I have the room that's set up right now is really set up as a expo room, but I can't explain how immersive and how extensible this is. And I've been working or talking with Keith about even concepts like virtual concerts, potentially virtual uh, like stand-ups. The possibilities are kind of limitless. I don't know if you have any of those pictures, Keith,
Oh, I
but
do. I'm gonna. So, let me just pick up on why this is important. I live in Melbourne, Australia. It would take me 14 hours to get to you, and I can tell you I'm not doing it. I hate flying. I hate it. So, we have created these feelings, these ideas that maybe we could create these really cool rooms that look a little bit like what it might be like. This is my room. This is what it looks like, my room. So my room is an auditorium. I just added this now, but this is one we did last week. There's Michael right there in the middle with his non-noiseless headphones, which makes lots and lots of noise when the news is on. But I think he's fixed that problem. So there's Michael there, and there's me on the side, and this is a room, an auditorium. I'm actually going to try and find those rooms. Michael has created hundreds of rooms like this, including one that simulates the Green Day concert that I went to last week. And he's my friend forever because that is the best concert I've ever been to. But Green Day come to Australia like once every 10 years. What am I going to do every other weekend? Right. So, this is what my room looks like. It's a Go Brunch room that simulates a hall where we can sit and chat. Right? And I often go to this room. And Marcy is saying that the actual expo did start today. I'm going to the show tomorrow, and I'll be helping out. But Michael, with this in mind, while I'm finding those other images, tell us why you love Go Brunch in this context and how it could help job seekers.
Well, my concept is actually to have a 24/7, 365 place for all of these people to gather. So it would be people like Diana that are assisting, either for, for top of funnel or, as a coach, paid coach. Um, so it would be a place to gather because one of the issues that I ran into as a job seeker is that I go on a Monday or whenever they're holding the meeting, and then I don't see anybody until the next Monday. So there's no continuity. Well, here I can create a 24/7, 365 asynchronous, meaning that I can throw a chat up, and I'm actually trying to suffice to say we need some forum type stuff and there's ways around that, but this would be a way literally you could have virtual classrooms so that people like Diana could do some training. You could have one-on-ones. I actually am using I have a one-on-one office in GoBrunch that I use for my networking calls. Again, it's kind of low barrier. I think people are going to have to get used to it a little bit, but I mean, if you can think about anything that you could sort of replicate virtually, you could pretty much do it in GoBrunch.
Yeah, and let's pick up on this. This is important because GoBrunch is the tool that allows you to create these awesome off the charts rooms, and it does have inbuilt on the GoBrunch site a AI generator for images, but between you and me, it's not very good. It's okay, but it's not awesome. It won't give you that result. Michael, how do you get this awesome result with DALI and these AI tools? This is a whole masterclass in itself, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it really centers around the prompt. And so, what I actually did, believe it or not, and I would recommend that people that are using AI do this because things change so fast, is you actually the you ask the model itself, what like what does Dolly expect as a prompt to get the best possible image? And there's like 5 areas that it wants. And once you do that, I think you saw this, Keith. Once you create one of those, then you say in the same style. So it recognizes that prompt as a style. And you say in the same style, create a dojo. In the same style, create a bathhouse. In the same style, create your auditorium. In the same style, like if you go to my Go Brunch right now, I have a movie theater that I'm actually doing my pitches on or at. And by the way, you can share your screen. You can embed YouTube's. This is why I really wanted to talk to you, because I'm really starting to think about all of these various channels that we need to be looking at, because one of the things that you mentioned, but you didn't mention it in the way I would, is resiliency. So it's not just if LinkedIn decides that you can't post anymore. It's like, what if LinkedIn is down for whatever reason? So we have to be thinking about, how do I make sure that my service is resilient? That's what we do in
Yeah.
cyber.
So let's pick up on this. Michael and I are doing an event about this in 2 weeks. Right. And the event is called How to Have Immersive Online Events. Right. In a world where I'm not traveling for 14 hours a day to get to you, but we can have lots and lots of fun online. Now, Michael is very, very, very good at making these rooms look almost realistic. I can imagine sitting in that chair, sitting in one of those chairs. I've been to rooms like this. Right? So you've mentioned a couple of things. What if LinkedIn is down? It's not only if you get banned. What if it's down? Twitter was down, for instance, yesterday. Big cyber attack. Twitter's down. Can't use it. That's a tragedy for everyone that loves Twitter. The 300 million people still using it. That's it. No one can use Twitter for a whole day. What do you do then? You can't talk to your friends. You just go and mow the lawn or do a load of washing or do some human things. Once I heard this really cool phrase once: a clean house means a broken computer. And that might be a guy joke. But, there's nothing else to do. Might as well clean the bathroom. Nothing else to do. Might as well do a load of washing. Nothing else to do. Might as well wash the vacuum the carpets. But so obviously there's a lot of people trying to work out what to do with Twitter yesterday, but Twitter was down. So this is what you're talking about: resiliency. You've got to have a plan B and C in case the sites go down. Yeah, I think this is very, very wise, don't you, Michael?
But Keith, I think one of the things I'm really enthused about, and I don't know how to explain this other than to say, and this expo is really showing off. I'm not the only one that has skills in making these immersive, but the one thing is, I don't get the same feeling as in a Zoom call. If like you did that one presentation, and like I said, you can actually throw up your screen and present, like I do PowerPoints, or actually my room right now, I created something in PowerPoint, but it's a YouTube video that I'm streaming to Go Brunch. So it's so immersive, and like I said, if you think about LinkedIn is really not immersive. I mean, it's text based, and I guess now with the videos and stuff, but I just don't get the same feeling. I'm
Yeah,
really
okay.
excited about
Let's
this.
pick up on this. This is actually really important. So we've now entered an era which possibly is unique to us in that we can communicate with the host. Right. In the 50s and 60s, when they invented TV, and you're sitting there and you're watching a TV show and you're going, wow, how did they do that? Isn't that cool? Gilligan's Island and, Star Trek. How did they do that? Someone created a show and we watch it. And we are passive listeners, passive enjoyment. Now, what Mike's saying is you can participate. Not only can you talk to the host, but you can feel that you're there. We can create an environment that simulates the real world. And it's not very hard to do. We're going to talk about this in a very special show in 2 weeks. And Go Brunch is one of the sites we're using for that. Do you think you get the same sort of immersive quality in these restream rooms? Are we halfway there by doing this?
Well, it's better than I think it's better than LinkedIn or Zoom. I do, because you have the capability, Keith. Like, we'll be talking about a mic or headphones or whatever, and you can just on the fly, you can go grab a picture of that. So you talk about uh, it's a type of immersiveness, right? It's relevant to hopefully the viewers, right? So if they're watching, because I think a lot of people are watching you because you're interested in all this technology. So be able to bring live the technology to the audience.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what I'm thinking. Now, why don't we run some questions? I'm going to run the room on this. We're going to run some questions. If you have any questions at all and you're listening in the audience, please put those in the comments on whatever site you're listening to. We are quite possibly listened to in all parts of the world. There's people in Chile, they call it there, Chile, Germany, Jamaica, Canada, New Zealand, Australia, the US. Just tell us where you're coming in from, and just ask your questions if you've got any. But while we're waiting for that, why don't we run the room and give everyone a turn? Amolia, I've sort of left you sitting there. Tell me what you think are the possibilities here. There's enormous possibilities. You love Go Brunch. I'm going to go and get some of your rooms too. Your rooms are extraordinary.
Absolutely. I've actually had a lot of my one-on-one clients thank me because they felt like when I transitioned from using Zoom to using like Go Brunch for that one-on-one coaching space, they felt like they could just show up. They didn't feel like they need to turn on their camera. It, a lot of them used to actually say, you know what, sometimes to be honest, I used to reschedule my sessions based on what my life was looking like that day. But now I can just, if I'm in the car, if I'm taking my kids somewhere, I can just go to Go Brunch and not feel uncomfortable that I'm not turning my camera on because the platform is designed for social audio.
It's purpose built as a camera off environment, isn't it?
Hmm. And sometimes they do cut on their camera, but they love the fact that they get the option. And then they say it's more welcoming because of the visuals. It's not just like if you decide to cut your camera off, you're not just looking at a black Zoom screen with your profile photo. You can make it look as welcoming as you like. You can have resources, there's a chat. So you can really create an experience.
Well, let's pick up on this because you are the queen of this. Like, I'm so proud to be your friend. Here's your room. I have been in cafes like this. I can see myself sitting here. I've been in rooms like this. This is an extraordinary level of photorealism. How did you do it? Tell us the goss.
So I started off using the Chat GPT Dolly, and then I took it and I put it into Canva and made it, added my own personal tweaks to make it look more realistic. I added my logo, kind of tweaks the photo. I don't think people realize, how sometimes AI include things you want to get rid of, or it kind of is distorted or not looking as clear as you want it to. Well, Canva do have it to where now they have like a magic eraser to where you can just eliminate things that kind of look more AI, or the chair leg is kind of distorted, and you can just customize it that way to make it more crisp. So I use those two, Dolly and Canva.
And Canva has a magic eraser feature, yeah?
Mhm. Yes, it does.
Yeah, no, this is very important because one of the things you'll know, and you'll know this when you try it, especially in Dali and variations, it's it's pretty hard to get exactly what's in your brain. And you get very, very, very close, and then suddenly there's a spoon the wrong way inside a cup, or there's no stand on the mic, or there's the headphones don't sort of sync up, and there's bits missing. So the idea of having a magic eraser, it's a pretty exciting idea. Tell us about how that would work for people that haven't done that.
Regarding using Canva.
Yeah, the magic eraser. So we're using Dali, which is a site that creates the image, something like this. But you might have found that when you did that, there was something odd in the picture you didn't like.
Exactly. So I also like to tell everyone, especially when it comes to branding, you can talk to the system when you're doing AI and you can actually copy and paste your color hex and tell them to create rooms using your brand colors. And then one thing I did do, I don't know, you can tell it to add photos on the wall. So you can use the magic eraser when you go to your settings or when you click on a photo. I don't have Canva up right now, but when you click on the photo, you'll have that edit photo in your settings, and it should appear. You'll see where if you scroll through the features, you'll say magic eraser. You can actually use it and then literally highlight that photo on the wall to make it blank to where you can incorporate your own logo, your wording, your picture. I have one. I don't know if you have that slide. So what, yeah, I incorporated my photo. So you can see I've been really having fun with the photos on the wall, but people say, okay, I know it's more welcoming. It seems realistic almost.
Well, and to your point, Amelia, you just it's so immersive, and then you have your picture on there, and you have your brand. I haven't seen anything quite like this. You don't have this in Zoom at all. It's not even close.
I agree.
Yeah, it's very, very cool.
So
So
I have a quick question.
please.
How do we? What's the best way for us to train people? We've been using Zoom, okay, and they're going to come in now to this new environment, and they barely know how to use Zoom, meaning they don't know how to raise their hand, they don't know how to share a screen, they don't know how to save the chat, they don't know how to type in the chat. How do we convert somebody like that over to these beautiful rooms in Go Brunch? I love it. I actually want to get more involved in Go Brunch too, because I loved it. I was on a call with Michael the other day, and I saw some of the beautiful things he did with Japanese themed things, which is what I would use as my background with the meditation and mindfulness. But how in the world do we train these people so they can have a good experience on Good Brunch, Go Brunch, when they're scared to death of learning a new platform? Yeah.
Diana, you use Zoom.
Okay.
You do a master class on Go Brunch on Zoom, which is what they're familiar with.
Okay.
Share your screen, show them exactly what to do. I wouldn't show them how to build the rooms because they're going to be using the
Right.
rooms. I mean, you can do a master class on how to build the
Right.
rooms too,
Exactly. No,
but
but I'm just
or Amalia can
participate. Yeah.
with yeah, yeah. It's real. I mean, the ease of use. Well, I'm a technologist, so I'm probably not the best to speak to this, but you have in essence, there's no special software required. It's you do this with the browser, and it's very limited. I mean, you have to say yes to turning on a mic and a camera, but you have to do that with almost any of these apps. And once you do that, yeah, there's some tricks, but if you're gonna go down this road, Diane, I would just say take them from Zoom, do a master class or a walkthrough on Zoom, and then say okay, the next meeting, like one of the things I do is when I schedule a networking meeting, I put my Go Brunch room in for the networking meeting. Now, not a lot of people are like, oh, I don't understand. I'm like, well, AI is coming and you're going to have to get used to change quickly. Even us folks that are a little over 50.
Oh, yes. Okay. Well, that makes sense. Yeah, I could do something like that, and then be building my room in the process. Yeah.
Also, too, Diana, what I do, since I now incorporate it as like my main location for my one-on-one coaching, I incorporate simple instructions and like when they schedule on my calendar in that email, it will walk them through. Make sure if you're using your cell phone, you turn it landscape. Like I give them basic instructions and then I leave the room open so they can go in and play in it with simple
Mm.
instructions before we jump in. And then I use the first 5 minutes to make sure they know how to turn their mics on and off. If they want to turn their camera, I just walk through like the main toolbar that they'll need, because realistically, they don't need to do all of the other things. They just probably need to know how to turn their mics on and off, where's the chat located, and if we are having a situation to where they want to screen share, I'll go over that component. But they found it very helpful, and I think it's very cool. It gets them excited before the event to actually jump in and see the room and kind of play with it.
It's a great idea, Amelia. I'm gonna have to actually. I'll have to come up with a little document or something to encourage people to
I've
do
got a
that.
slightly different approach, but I love what you've done there. What I do, and you're very welcome to join this, Diana. Once a month, I have a Go Brunch update show, which is basically serves two purposes. One is if you've already heard of it, you get to hear what's going on. But the most common question is, Keith, what is Go Brunch? That's the most common question. So it gives people a chance to say, well, look, if you've never heard of Go Brunch, come to the show. I'll demonstrate it. Now this is the clincher. And then I do an after party in a Go Brunch room. Now, if you're really digging this, you really like it, I've created a room to demonstrate what I've been talking about. And it seems to work. The first hour is for people on LinkedIn that have never heard of Go Brunch. The second hour is, look, if you're digging it, I'm very happy to show you. Let's go over there. And then, maybe 50% will go and say, hey, this is good. I get it. You've warmed me up to it. That could work too. But let's run the room on what other people are doing here, because we, as thought leaders, as early adopters, my biggest challenge in the world, without exception, is getting people to try things they've never tried before. Mate, I'm happy with Zoom. I'm just watching. I just read the paper, mate. I'm just watching free-to-air TV. I just listen to the radio. I'm happy to do what I used to do in 1983. Why should I change? Why should I try this new site? I'm happy with ... I get this question like every day. So I've got to make it super simple for people to say, look, this is all right. What's it? What have I got to lose? Oh, let's just try it. Let's just have a go. Have a go, quintessential Australian phrase. So let's run the room on how other people do it. What about you, Americo? Are you having some trouble getting to people to embrace this new technology?
Hey, let me tell you, between Michael and Amalia, you've now convinced me to make the investment that I've been parking. And for the longest time, the conversation was, Go Brunch provides that extra layer of intimacy and privacy, because everyone was worried about, coming to a restream room or a Zoom room and sharing their thoughts with everyone. And this whole comfort level around what was available. And now with the Go Brunch and the immersive experience, I, I'm sold. And I know Richard's not here to answer the question. Maybe between the three of you who are familiar with the platform, for anyone looking to use it for one-on-one coaching and monetizing their rooms, is there an opportunity to plug it into a third-party payment platform, or is that something you got to do?
Oh, they're working on that, Matt. They're
They're
actually
working on that.
working on that.
I'm going to say they're working on it. They're not there, but there are ways. Um, check with someone that are called brunch hackers. There are people, and Peggy actually, who's running the expo. If you want to reach out, I can get her information, but she's intimately involved with how to do that on the current platform through various I don't know why I don't call them hacker techniques, but basically, you have to do some third party widgeting and so forth. And that's it seems like a bane, but I also think it as a strength because it is so extensible. Because like one of the things I'm looking at is there's a vendor that a lot of people are using, and I can never pronounce it, so I'm not going to try. But they have all sorts of widgets. I don't know if payment is one of those, but you can certainly reach out to Peggy.
Right on. Thanks, Michael.
I would love to tell you a miracle how I monetize my room if you like.
Please, please,
Yes.
please.
Oh, so first thing, one thing I love, like with my power hours, I don't know if anyone use Canally, but I love the fact that it allows you to do custom link. And now I have it to where whenever someone schedule on my calendar, when it books, it collects the payment. It'll automatically send all of my information, the alerts, and the location will be the Gold Brunch room. You just have to do in Canally, make sure you do custom link and then just copy and paste your Go Brunch room into that custom link area. And then whenever they submit payment, it'll automatically give them that room for that particular location. Now, for my one-on-one coaching, I'm not sure if anyone is familiar with Paperbell. I like it because I don't have to do so many third parties. Everything is integrated. So Paperbell is like a one-in-one platform. It handles your contracts, your scheduling, everything, your different packages, payment plan, and it's also integrated with Stripe. So all you have to do is just tell them that you want that Go Brunch link to be the location, and it literally integrates everything. So when they submit payment, when they get their alerts, their notification, it will keep reminding them that this is the link, and you can actually lock your room to where no one can get in unless they submit payment. So it's pretty cool.
A paper bail.
Paperbell, yeah, that's what I use for my coaching. It's a platform to where it includes everything. Where instead of like, you know how some people pay for contracts and Hello or DocuSign. Well, Paperbell includes everything when it comes to your coaching.
How do you spell it? And what is it? A .com?
Yep, it's literally like Paperbell. Paperbell.com.
Paper bell. Okay, I was googling paper bail.
Oh, my apologies.
Paperbell.com. Okay. Now, this is very important, and this is a very good segue to bring in Zakia, who is probably the queen of e-commerce solutions. What a
Yes,
great
she
segue! What a
is.
great segue! Oh, let's bring her in. Let's bring her in. Oh wow! Hey! And look at that lovely image now, that lovely background that picks up on that yellow. Have you been trying this, Zakia, with the new look restream?
I was waiting to come on your show, Keith. That looks awesome. Hi, everybody.
So tell us what you think you might recommend for payment systems within Go Brunch and various other places.
Yeah, I loved Amalia's suggestion for like a Calendly link and having that in there. You know, I'm the queen of lifetime deals. So the one I recommend is Book Like a Boss. That is an amazing tool that has the ability to have all kinds of scheduling pages, and you can have that custom link for where you want them to go. But Calendly is a wonderful solution.
And you can book, you can pay within that, yeah.
Yes, and all of them will typically connect to either Stripe or PayPal. So it makes it really easy to integrate. So that's the big thing, making sure that you can accept payments with your banking system. And normally Stripe and PayPal are those two selections.
Yeah. Now we can run the room on the American solutions because you wouldn't know, you wouldn't assume that you would know that we don't have any access to any of these sites you talk about because we don't have US bank accounts. Right? So we have to use a whole series of other sites, which I can talk about in a minute, because
Wow.
we can't use the ones you use because you have to have an American bank account for this to be relevant. So that's important. But what about you, Americo? What do you use for payments? Being in Canada, do you have access to the American system, or do you have to create a whole plethora of other options?
So Stripe does allow me to collect payments in any currency worldwide. So I have an account with Stripe, uh, but I'm learning quite a bit today. I can integrate it into my Calendly, and now I have two other platforms that I'm going to go do some research. Paperbell as well as Book Like a Boss.
Yeah,
Awesome. Thank you,
love
you
it.
two.
Oh, it's very, very important. Like it's extremely important. And with I'll come back to Zakia. What you know a lot about multi-streaming, and you've had that quintessential experience where overnight your main thing went away. For me, it was
Oh,
Twitter. For you, it was Periscope. Tell me
yes.
about that, and how has that changed your life and changed the way you view this idea of putting all your eggs in one basket?
Yeah, that basket will surely fall at some point. So it was 2018, I believe, when Periscope shut down. And at that time, I had between 73,000 and 75,000 followers. Now, luckily, I did have email addresses of those people who had placed orders on my website, but pretty much overnight, I lost over 73,000 followers. So I no longer had the ability to connect with them. At the same time, we started using Restream. Restream was a lifetime deal on AppSumo back in the day. And so I had that, and I had started to multi stream to both YouTube as well as Facebook. So I was simultaneously building the audience, trying to get some of them over there. I didn't realize it at the time, but something that we've seen even with TikTok in the last few months, they shut down for 4 hours in the United States, and some people have their complete business there. And I think it's just really, really important to always multi-stream. And it's not necessarily that you have to have a presence there, but it's all about that distribution and people being able to find you being so, so important.
And what do you find? This is an important discussion. Which ones work for you? We can stream to up to 30 places. That actually is not any hard anymore. But what works? What is worth the effort? Which ones are getting you traction?
Honestly, for me, I would say it's YouTube for those people that want to take classes on how to make a product because they're the DIYers. They're typically searching for how to do something
Yeah.
and they stumble on those videos. And I can see, and this is why your website analytics is so important. You can see where that traffic is coming from. Facebook, it kind of helps me for just the personal where you don't have a whole lot of people on the live stream. At least your mom is going to show up for your live video, right? But I'm just kidding. But there's that if I want to have just more of a social conversation, I do find that my Facebook audience does that. And the LinkedIn has been really, really instrumental when it comes to the technology side of what it is that I do. So I think it depends on what your end goal is. And one thing I do want to mention, a change that Facebook just recently made starting in July, they're going to be deleting live streams, right? Any live streams that are older than 30 days are automatically going to go away. So I would say that everybody at a minimum needs to be streaming to YouTube as well, if for nothing else, to have an archive to be able to pull from later.
And that's
Because
exactly what I'm
Go
doing.
ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Keith.
No, this is exactly what I'm doing. I'm sending my files to YouTube as of today because YouTube has this very lovely playlist idea. So let's say we do this really great show today, which is great. It is great. And in 3 months' time, someone says, "Oh, Keith, you know that show you did about multi-streaming? Can you send that to me?" Oh, I'm not sure I'm going to find it. I'm not sure I'm going to find that on LinkedIn. But if I've got a playlist, if I've got a group of sort of shows that I've done in a row, sequentially reversed chronological, I can just simply scroll through them. I know this because I did a live stream in 2020, and they're all still there. This is exactly what you're talking about, isn't it? They're all still there.
Absolutely. Yeah. And they're searchable. That's the thing. Nobody has search quite like YouTube has. So if you want that discoverability, if it makes sense for what you're teaching people, definitely leverage YouTube as well, alongside whatever your other primary platform is.
And have you had an experience with the 916 environment, Instagram and TikTok? We've talked a bit about this today. We're all a little bit puzzled by how we can do it. Have you been experimenting with the 916 portrait mode style videos?
I've done it in the past. It works really well if it's a camera and I'm demonstrating making a product. When I'm doing technology ones and you're trying to share your screen, it's way too small for that. However, if we're following the trends of what the social media platforms want, they want that 9 by 16 because they're all following suit with TikTok and the attention span that we have. So it's a catch 22. It just doesn't fit for the style of video that I create.
Yeah, well, this is the discussion we're actually having.
LinkedIn is pushing 16 by 9 as we speak.
Yeah, tell me about that. They've made a decision that they want 16 by 9, the panoramic mode.
Yeah, I don't know why, but they're definitely pushing. You've seen people on their camera, on their like cell phones, taking movies, and they should be short. I think they're recommending between a minute and a half and 2 minutes, and you will get off the charts impressions on LinkedIn. The other thing I was wondering about with Zakia was, are you doing like a subscription model on YouTube?
No, I don't have a subscription on YouTube. They take too much of a percentage, but I do have my own community
Okay,
where they pay a subscription.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Are you doing live YouTube lives or
Yes,
no?
I multi-stream to Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube simultaneously.
And how do you do Facebook?
Okay.
Are you going to a group, to a profile, to a page? I think you can only do one, can't you? One of those?
No, I go to my personal page as well as my business page. You can no longer live stream with external tools to a group. You have to go native on the Facebook app. So they took that away maybe September of last year. It just completely went bye-bye.
We could do a show every day just keeping up with everything that changes. Like we
Yeah.
could do a show every day and still not repeat ourselves. So what is the difference between a profile and a business page? You can do both of those through Restream?
Absolutely. Just depending on what your maximum. So for me, the personal page, Facebook is in business for money, right? So you can get 5,000 people to love your business page. They're going to show your content to maybe 2% of those people, which is why I loved Periscope, by the way. If you were just on the platform, the discoverability is unmatched from Periscope to any of the other platforms. So with a Facebook business page, your discoverability is going to be about 2% to 5% of those people who have liked your page, followed your page. They're not going to show it to them. If you do it on your personal page, more of those people that are connected with you are going to see it. And then because they're tuning in and commenting, their friends are also going to see it. So that's why I do the both. I will say Facebook does have a rule that if you're a completely personal page, you should not be doing business content on a personal page.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And they can ban
The
you for that.
the one thing about that is if you turn it into a creator page, your personal page, you then have the ability to stream your business content on that personal page.
Mm. And how does that audience differ for you from the other sites?
They don't convert as much in terms of buying. I would say Facebook is the largest group of looky-loos that I have.
Yeah.
When I look at my Shopify store or my WordPress site, the Google Analytics, they don't lie. My traffic comes from LinkedIn and YouTube. I think I get the vanity, like seeing the great numbers on Facebook,
Okay.
but the numbers that matter as a business owner are the revenue. Those come from LinkedIn and YouTube.
There's a really cool phrase that someone recently coined on Facebook, LinkedIn. They call that free Fiona. So Fiona comes to your site, she goes to everything, she clicks everything, she downloads everything that's free, and as soon as you say, "Hey, we've got a paid system," it's only like $7.99. Nah, not doing it. Well, you've been with me like 3 years. Surely $7.99 is not too bad. You must have got some value out of that time. No, no, free Fiona, we call her. We all know the free Fiona. And apologies if your name is Fiona, but there's always this person that comes to your show, downloads everything, and is so into it as long as it's free. And then as soon as you flip the switch and go, "Look, I got the gas bill's due tomorrow, and what about if you just swing $10 at me?" No, I'm not paying you. Well, then why are you here? Why am I here for you? I got to pay the gas bill, and my phone bill's due tomorrow, and I had to buy this mic, and it's cost me money to run the internet. It costs a lot of money to run free content, doesn't it, Zakia? I mean, it costs us most people don't know this, but the concept of free content is very expensive. Extremely expensive to run free content. No one knows this except creators. We got quite a few people in the backstage. I'm going to bring Virginia in, but when I tried last time, Virginia, you were in a very noisy environment. I'm just giving you a warning that I might have to cut you off if you're still getting that bad sound. I'll just try it again. That's better. No, you've
Keith,
got a
can I
lovely.
just add one thing what you just
Please.
said about that free part? We also need to recognize that these platforms, even though they are free, the bandwidth and the server and the storage to be able to store all of these long form live stream videos is very expensive. So that may be another reason why they are preferring more of the short form, aside from the audience preferences. But the cost associated with actually hosting this content can be very expensive.
Yeah, well, let's pick up on this because this is a trend that will continue. Twitch said last week, and this probably sounds a bit ridiculous in this context, but Twitch said last week that they will only store 100 hours of your content, which
Yeah.
is, one show a week for 2 years, or a 2-hour show for one year, or 4 hours, every 2 weeks. So Twitch will only store 100 hours of your content from now on. And when you hit the 100 hours, they delete the first one. You can only
Wow.
have 100 hours. Now, that's just clever. That's just them saying, look, this is costing us money to store this thing that you're not paying for. We're going to call it quits. And all of the sites are going to start doing this. If you don't know, an hour of video is about 1 gigabyte. Really rough figures. My shows go 4 hours. My hard drive is like 2 terabytes, which is 2,000. Is it 2 million? 2 trillion bytes? The point is that every time I do a video, 4 gigabytes goes into my hard drive, and it slows down just that little bit. I do 3 or 4 a week, and then suddenly I feel like a snail. So sites are going to start kicking up about this, which is why you can't often record on the free plans, because it's just too costly and takes up a lot of room. So that's the point there, isn't it?
Yeah. And then they've already gotten all of our data to train all the AI. Never mind. I was going to go down another path. They've gotten what they needed from us humans. Now they can kick us off. All right. I'm done. I'm getting off my soapbox. Hi, Virginia.
So jump in, Virginia. It looks like we've got a good signal. This is very cool. You've got a bit of pink in your thumbnail, which means there's a bit of pink in the background. Have you tried this new feature? And more importantly, do you have any questions for the audience? Any questions for some of the guests? What are you thinking there, Virginia? Have you got a mic? Let's see if we can get your mic working first. What are you doing? Got a mic working? Are you there? What are you thinking? I'll give her a call. She's only up the road. In fact, she's in, I think she's in Queensland, so maybe the lines are down. You got a signal? You got the signal there, Virginia?
I love the live aspect of this, Keith.
Yeah. Well,
Let's give her a call.
So here's how we do it in Australia. Are you there, Virginia? I'm trying, but come on. We've had some floods. We'll keep trying. Reboot, maybe. I can speak Rooster. All right, I'll see you in a few minutes. Okay, I'm just making that up. So, doesn't look like Virginia's got a signal. I'll just keep going with our normal scheduled programming. I'll maybe get Virginia to reboot. But what you said there, Zakia, is extremely important. Most people don't know how much it's costing us and companies to create free content. We just want everything for free, but free stuff costs money. So Twitch has just said 100 hours of content is the limit now, and they'll sort of stop it then. I'm just rebooting Virginia. Try again. Maybe reboot your computer. Try another device, and we'll see if we can get you in there. And I hope you can speak Rooster as well as I am. That was just my little interpretation. I use Google Translate for that, but I'm learning Japanese, so I know all about Google Translate. I can translate Rooster. So let's let's have a bit of fun with this. We're talking about multi-streaming. We're talking about the various sites we can try. We've been chatting about an hour and a half, so we've got plenty of time left. Amalia, tell us a bit about what you're doing with the sort of repurposing. I really like this idea, this repurposing. Are you cutting your videos up, or do you just love doing the live shows? And you probably don't have time to repurpose the stuff. You're doing a show every night.
Lately it's been a delay, but I do love repurposing my content. So I do a few things because I do like a mixture for like the master classes, which is hosted via Zoom, where the cameras are on. I use Opus clips to do video clips. And then for the audio only, I like to take the audio only, which I love Restream, where you can just download the audio, and I like to turn it into podcast episodes. And sometimes I take just audio clips and put it into Canva and do like, how you can get like the sound wave, make it look really cool. I like to create images to make them like they're talking, to where I can feature certain parts of the conversation.
Have you thought? I want to pick up on this because I did just do this yesterday. I think this is the coolest use of AI that I've ever thought of. I've thought of it. I didn't think of it. I just used it yesterday. There's a thing called Google Notebook. I want to have this discussion because this is a very, very, very cool hack. Google Notebook takes a piece of text and turns it into a podcast that you could hear on the breakfast show in your town. Have you tried this, Amalia? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I have not tried it. Please let me know more.
So Google Notebook, which is an LLM, actually takes a PDF. They need PDF. It doesn't work with Word. I tried it. You take a PDF of a show you've done, and I'll give you an example because I was interviewed by Bez last week. Bez is a good friend of ours, and the show is going to be on iHeartRadio, I think, in a few weeks. Very cool, like so cool. Me on iHeartRadio, little on me from Melbourne, Australia. So what I did was I took the essence of that interview and I fed it into Google Translate. This is so cool. And this guy with a very deep voice says, "Hey, guess what? Just heard this interview with Keith Keller. He's a bit of a dude." "Oh, yeah, I've heard of him." There's another girl talking. "I've heard of him. He's pretty clever, isn't he?" "Yep. And this is what he talks about. And he's got this show on iHeartRadio coming up in a few weeks. So look out for that." So this guy and this girl are bantering, right? While I'm waiting for Bez to actually send the file to iHeartRadio, I just created this little teaser in the background. It goes 4 minutes. And you feed in your website and the basic goss. You have to have a couple of goes at it. And then it suddenly does this little summary. It's the coolest thing. Like, is anyone trying this? I want to pick up on this. I think this is the coolest use of AI I've ever heard of. Have you tried it? Have you tried it, Michael?
I need help with your stellar knowledge on all things audio because I tried to upload the file. I think it was just too big to LinkedIn, and it I think because of the size it failed. So I got it done and it sounded okay, and I've been messing around with Audacity. Um, that's what I did. I'm not really happy with my pitch, and I actually did that. I'm ashamed to admit that I did that in PowerPoint and added Audacity to a voiceover. So I need to get a little more. Well, I want my AI to do that for me, but I was told that I had to have my voice on the voiceover. So
That's not exactly what I'm talking about. That's another skill. I do actually know quite a lot about Audacity, and that's a bit of a secret superpower. I'm not shipping that out though.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not shipping that out because it's very
no,
time
no, no,
consuming to do. I'm not offering that service. I know how to do it. I'm not doing it for anyone else. I'm not. I'm just not.
no. Fair enough. But what I'm saying is, I needed to get a hold of that file and then trim it down or something because that file was just
Yeah.
too big. So I don't know if anyone else has had that, and I don't remember what I used for the prompt, but it was very similar to what you're saying. It seemed reasonable, and it was a nice little back and forth between and it's all AI in case anyone's wondering that you feed it in and it creates this fake podcast with this guy and this girl going back and forth about whatever you
Yeah. And let's be
prompted
very
it to
clear, it
do.
is
Cool
fake.
idea.
Like, let's be very clear, it's fake.
Yeah.
But the point is that I do these shows. I don't have time to edit, but I'll throw to Zakia on this. With Opus Clip, and there's a few people in the room that use Opus Clip, you can take one file, and I think for the free version, they'll give you 10 small videos from somewhere inside that. It wouldn't be too hard to strip out the audio and turn that into a podcast, would it? What do you think, Zakia? Have you thought of that?
I don't use Opus Clip, but no, it wouldn't be difficult. I was going to chime in on your Notebook LM because that's my favorite AI tool.
Yeah, tell me about it. I love it. Have you been using it?
Yeah, I use it for analyzing like websites, but the real beauty of it is it's really a notebook. So any subject, you could take maybe 15 YouTube videos and post that link in there, and it will create they call them a deep dive podcast interview where you can quickly listen through and get the gist of what was covered in there. And then you can use it just like Chat GPT or Claude to dive deeper into the conversation. Like, oh, I heard in that conversation you said ABC, XYZ, and it'll pull exactly where it got that information from in the source. So the beauty of Notebook LM, no sound? Oh, and so then the beauty of Notebook LM is that, yes, it can take a podcast and create that, but then it becomes your own notebook for any subject that you're trying to learn. So if you're somebody trying to keep up with all things AI, if you come across a website, if you come across a YouTube video,
It's a bit like an Evernote type of thing.
yep, like your own Evernote, and then it uses AI for you to hear that deep dive, but then also get you can ask questions like you're in a chat specifically around that content that you've fed it.
Yeah. Just picking up on what
So
you go, Michael.
is that can you do that with a YouTube video? Like I don't know
Yes.
if anyone knows who Lex
Yeah,
Lex Fridman is, but he has these long podcasts. I'd love to get a summary of those.
absolutely. It's Google. So all YouTube
That's
videos you
yeah,
can put into Notebook LM.
awesome. I'll definitely have to chase that
Yeah.
down.
So these tools are here for us. They are not that scary. And we had a bit of a discussion recently about agents, Michael. I'd love you to talk as a cyber dude. What does that word even mean? And I can't get my head around what an AI agent is.
Well, just think of it as the sort of human interface between you and the LLM or a machine learning. And a lot of people don't draw the distinction between machine learning and LLM. And all it really is this kind of two ways that the computer is processing the software. I mean the data. In cybersecurity, I need to be able to take this massive amount of data that we get and look for anomalous behavior. So I have to, I have to grab that, take all of the data, and then say, oh, looks like we have a hacker because of the traffic that we're seeing. That's machine learning. So I need agents for both. So I need, and eventually, Keith, I'll have an agent says, and I think we were talking about this on another show, is that we were talking about maybe ordering food. Um, I think with Zakia, but anyway, I'll have your agent talk to my agent, or my agent will say, go, I need to order, whatever online vegetables, and then have them delivered. So it's going to be a intelligent interface between that, and I think it's going to be agents talking to agents, and then eventually talking to whatever is behind that, and that's really going to be the power. So yes, these LLMs are cool, but the power is going to be when we start having special LLMs called, well, I'm calling them SLMs. So it's small language models instead of the large language models. And they're going to be very specific. The reason that's better is that they're going to be trained on just, like airline uh, booking or something. So it'd be very specific. They won't mess up anywhere near as much as the LLMs might.
Oh, clever.
And all of those are going to be
Yeah,
talking
because
back and
they
forth.
know a specific thing. This is very, very, very,
Yep.
very, very good. Now, apparently, uh, Virginia's got her mic to work, so let's try that. We got a mic for you? I don't know if we do. Let's try it. Have you got your mic working, Virginia? I'm not going to get the roosters out again. No luck. Everything I can see here, it doesn't look like your mic is working from my point of view. So I'm going to cancel that. We'll just keep trying. It's not working. So try another device. I don't know why that's not working. And also Joyce is having trouble. That's a challenge. We've covered a lot of ground. We've got plenty of time to go, but I'm just really interested in a couple of things I want to talk about fundamentally. We are indeed today talking about multi-streaming 101. And what does that even mean? Right, so I'm just regrouping to give you sort of a bit of a decoder. If you have any questions at all for the members of the audience and the members of the panel, please put those in the chat. We still have a little bit more room on the stage if you want to know about that. We are indeed part of a series of shows which go all the way through to the end of October, end of April now. I'm very, very excited to know where is Keith today. One of the things I want you to do for me personally, if you do nothing else, is I want you to go and follow Amolia Americo, because LinkedIn has a limit, and so does YouTube. LinkedIn has a limit of 150 members. YouTube has a limit of 50 subscribers. So I want you to follow Americo there, because he wants to do his shows on YouTube. So tell us a bit about that, Americo. How are you going? How are we going today? Have you got a couple of people joining in?
I did have a couple of people subscribe, so for each of you who have done so, thank you. I'll say it publicly. I've replied to each of you in the chat as well, thanking you. Now, I know Amolia has shared that she's got less than 50 and is able to stream. So I'm wondering if it is a geographical limitation, because the Canadian market is so much smaller. Maybe there's tighter restrictions, but I have tried to troubleshoot and waited the 24 hours that is suggested, so that YouTube does their authentication or whatever it is that they need to do to validate my legitimate persona. But all fingers point to my inability to stream due to my lack of subscribers.
Yeah.
So,
and so the URL there is tinyurl.com Journey Logic 2025. I just created that today to make it easy to remember. But if you do indeed love QR codes, Americo has actually created a QR code for that. And all we need to do is get him to 50 subscribers, and then he can join the YouTube family, and we can start having fun on YouTube. While we're doing the rounds, we can all share our YouTube channel. Diana, are you doing YouTube? Is that your thing?
Yes, I have a YouTube channel which I've just started putting up my videos of my job seeker groups and my masterclass. I put it up there, let the people look at it, and then then the masterclass videos become private until the next time. But the job seeker videos, and I'm going to start doing more short form videos on various aspects of mindfulness and as it relates to job search.
And will
Join
you
my
see?
channel too. I think I have like 18 subscribers now, so I'm working to get that up to a point where I can live stream as well.
Yeah. Well, apparently, you need 50. I don't know. I've got 250, so it works for me. But apparently, you need 50. So, will you?
My apologies. I did post an article in the private chat of a loophole of how to get around it in your settings. So
Oh,
let me
thank
know if
you.
that works for you guys.
Let's pick up on this. A loophole.
Yeah.
A loophole. This is very special knowledge. This is what we do. We're like the sort of the Justice League, and we're just all helping each other. So what's the hack? What do you need to do?
You know what? I just posted an article. I didn't deep dive into it, but I feel like it was more so me playing in my settings. When I went to, I actually, you know how you go to YouTube? In your YouTube studio, at the top, it has like a go live button. And I can't remember what I did, but the article did go more in detail. So I did share that with you guys in the private chat.
Let's
Oh,
And
pick
if
up
you
on this. This is very important. If indeed, like it doesn't sound like a lot, 50 subscribers, but you got to get them. You got to hassle the shit out of your friends and your family. Can you please subscribe to my channel,
yeah.
please, please, please? I've done that. I've been there. Like you're hassling the shit out of your friends. It's just a YouTube channel. Push go. Not that hard. But you got to ask. You got to beg. So if we can get around that begging, I think that'd be pretty cool. And do you have any ideas on this, Michael? Do you have a YouTube channel, and you got any hacks for us?
I don't have a hack, and like I said, I just posted. I had one a while back, and I have to figure out what a branded versus non-branded is because I'm trying to sign up for free. Uh, People give away memberships to their YouTube channels, and if I'm branded, I can't get the I can't get those. So I have to figure that out. And I actually want to rebrand my LinkedIn. I mean, sorry, my YouTube channel. Um, and so I'm gonna have to come up with clever marketing for that.
Yeah, very important. Virginia is trying to keep going, but her mic is just not connecting. So I don't know what that is, Virginia, but your mic is just not connected. And so we can't hear you. So I'll just maybe reboot, try plugging your mic in, try another mic, maybe try your phone. But tech is wonderful until it doesn't work. But this is such an important topic that I really want to pick up on this. I'm doing a show in a couple of weeks, but I really, really, really want to pick up on this now. What is your favorite social network? Now, this is an important question for a couple of reasons. One is, do we simply go to the places we like, or have we had the discernment to ask the question, are the people that will buy what we have into this too? Now, this is a very, very important question. Like, I might not like Instagram, but if the people that need what I have are there, I probably owe it to them to work it out. Like, I don't have a TikTok account. I don't have a Snapchat account. I don't have one. I don't have a Reddit account. I haven't been sufficiently inspired to try it. Still not working, Virginia. I don't know what that is. So why don't we run the room on what our favorite networks are for two reasons. One is, what's your favorite personally, and what do you think your clients want? This is a very, very good question. What do you think, Diana? Have you done that research? What do your clients want? What's the site that is most likely to work for your clients?
Um, you mean in terms of a Zoom type platform or a social media platform in terms of
Yeah,
LinkedIn or
social
Facebook?
media.
Well, most of my clients are on LinkedIn because they're job seekers. So that's the first place I'm starting. I tried a little bit with Facebook. I put a Facebook business page together. My Facebook is very private, my personal page, and I only use it for friends and very close friends, family, and my high school classmates that where we have a page for our class. So I'm not interested in Facebook connecting with thousands of people. I'm doing this for business. The business page, I have a few followers, but I really haven't been focusing on Facebook as much as LinkedIn. That's where I've been putting all my effort. So I would have to say Facebook.
So Facebook is your plan B.
That's the main platform. Yeah. Then the YouTube is starting up because I can see more opportunities with YouTube down the road. Plus, if once you get up to another certain threshold, you can start monetizing it. And I don't see that possibility with LinkedIn or Facebook.
Let's have this slight diversion. Why would you want to monetize a site rather than just use it to attract clients? This is a very different strategy. Get the site to pay you rather than clients pay you. Let's play this out. What are you thinking there?
I just strictly to get more money eventually, have another stream of income coming in. I really haven't done my due diligence on it. But I know that there's a lot of people monetizing YouTube based on the number of followers they have and things like that. And then there's affiliate marketing and other
Do you want
things.
the
I'm nowhere near that yet, but
you want to know the numbers? Have you got any numbers at all that you can play with?
sure.
You get 0.007 cents per click,
Okay.
which means you need about 1 billion likes to make $1 million. So you need 100,000 likes to make $100. So if you can get 100,000 comments, views of your YouTube channel, you will make $70. It's hardly
Okay.
worth the effort, is it?
Well, that's true. Yeah.
So
But Keith, I thought the calculus was a little more complicated. I thought it was like time spent, like viewed hours or whatever.
it might
It's
be,
not
and
just
Joyce
clicks,
might
is
know
it?
this. Let's see if I know Joyce is very good at this stuff. What do you think, Joyce? Do you know anything about YouTube and monetization and getting paid? You use a site called Fanbase. We'll talk about this. This is the perfect segue into that. Let's talk about monetization in real terms. 100,000 views is $70. Is it worth it? I mean, is it worth the effort? It sounds glorious, but can you do it? What do you think, Joyce? I'll give you the floor.
Hey everybody, so I finally got my settings in my device. It's real tricky, but you can hear me okay?
We can.
Good. I use YouTube, but it's mainly for my library. So I have a lot of informational YouTube streams that I do, but I multi-stream too. Now the monetization part, that's still green for me. But I wonder too, that's a good question. I have content creators that I've met who has 100,000 K views or whatever, and they never tell us how much they actually make, but they say it's really lucrative, meaning if you have $70 for that first 100K, it triples after that point, whatever that means. And I
Oh, okay. I get you. Well, I'll give you a really cool example. I don't know if anyone else has this example, but I'm very happy to talk about it. There was a site called wisdom.audio, which is now called Noom Vibe. And they said, oh, we can monetize your content. You're doing shows anyway. Why don't you just do them here? Right. Now, it's a very different site. You can't have guests. So you're just monologuing, talking at the wall. And you can have one sort of guest at one time. I didn't personally like the site, but I did the research. I worked out the type of show that I would do, these 3-hour shows where I have all these guests on, would make me about 75 cents. I think one day, $1.50 on a very good day. I'm thinking, I don't like the site. I'm working my guts out for $1.50. I mean, I wouldn't get out of bed for $1.50. I mean, like, what can you buy with $1.50,
But,
right? So
Keith, I think we might be coming at this the wrong
I
way,
was
though.
gonna
If you have eyeballs, yeah, let's throw some round numbers out. So let's say a million. So you got a million views on a regular basis. Then you can start pitching, or I don't know exactly how you go about letting people know, but I'm sure you start pitching for sponsors, or they start pitching to you. I think it works kind of both ways. So you're like, and you can do it two ways. I don't know if you've seen it, but there's people that are doing what's called in YouTube or in show. So they're not paying you, or YouTube's not paying them for sponsors. In other words, probably because of what you said is they'll take too much, or someone said they'll take too much of a cut. So they actually go get sponsors and then say, we're sponsored by, blah, blah, blah. And then, again, if you have that many eyeballs, you can start charging for, a given rate. Then that's how you monetize.
And
that's great,
there's
but that
also something to consider. So I am monetized on YouTube. I don't get millions of views, and I would get an average of $25 a month. So once a quarter,
Mm,
right? I'm getting a check because you have to get at least $100.
yeah.
But to Mike's point, it does come from sponsorships, and then of course sending them back to your site. Remember, I said I can see in my analytics where my traffic is coming from for those courses and books and
mhm.
products. That traffic is a beeline from YouTube. And so, one thing to also know is depending on the type of content you get or the type of content you create, your monetization is going to look very different from somebody that's doing like prank videos, or where if you're doing business videos or um, real estate or finance, those that they can actually charge a higher CPM for, then you'll get a higher rate. It doesn't take a million views to see that. And I'm not saying $25 is not going to allow me to retire, right? But it's a two part there. It's what is the content that you're putting out? How much are those advertisers willing to pay to come up pre roll, mid roll, and at the end of your stream? And then making sure that you do have a path to monetization on your own land. And we talked about that on the e-commerce one, but that's what I wanted to share.
So it's not just clicks, it's multiple ways to monetize. Maybe after YouTube, basically, like you're
Yeah.
saying. If the bulk of your traffic is coming from YouTube's. So you're putting the product the content out, and you're not getting monetized at that
Mhm.
level, but you're getting monetized because people are coming to your site and spending the money there.
This is the good discussion to have. Do you want to pick up on fan base, Joyce? It's a good chance to talk about how they monetize. Have you worked out the numbers for that? Because from what I can tell, it's $1.50 per hour or something. It's probably not worth it, but I'd be interested to know if you've worked out the numbers.
So,
We got you.
okay. Yeah, I was putting in the chat. Restream doesn't like my mobile device, but I'm working. It kicked me out first. I just got a sad face. But I wanted to say for fan base, they have what's called a currency. They have what's called a love currency. So I like to use it as like a tip, right? A tip option. Because anybody that comes, you know, on your profile and gives you loves, you can get monetized like about 8 different ways on there. So it's more like it's different from any other like social media. They actually have their own currency. So that means if I posted an AI video and you thought it was dope, you could give me up to 1K loves, which equates 1K, I think it's like $50, I believe. But don't quote me on the actual. dollar amount because I'd have to go back in there and look because they have different love packs. You can
How much
purchase
would it
those love
cost the
packs.
person to do that to you? How much would it cost them for 1,000 loves?
So you're saying how much does it cost them to purchase? Because that's what I was getting at. You can
Yeah.
purchase 1K loves, and if you purchase 1K, I believe 1,000 loves is about $10 to get
Okay.
1K loves, I believe. Let me go back and look because now that you got me on the spot, I want to make sure I'm looking at the right. Can you still hear?
Oh, yeah, we can hear you. I love this. I love this. So one model of monetization for the company is that they charge listeners to buy these loves or these votes, and then they encourage you to give them away, and then the hosts get paid by you, the listener, and you basically essentially pay. What I would prefer personally is I would prefer you to just send me money in my PayPal account, paypalme.keithkeller. I just prefer you to pay me directly. But that is another layer. So this is very, very cool. Thank you so much, Sandra, for sharing all of these YouTube channels. It's very, very cool how we're building a lovely community here. I'll just give Americo some love here. This is Americo's site. We're trying to get him to 50. 50. This is Diana's YouTube channel. That's very cool. This is mine. I'll go and check that later and see if there's if the YouTube video worked. Did it indeed work? Go and have a look and see. And this is Amolia's YouTube channel. We might as well just help each other. Do you have a YouTube channel, Mike? Do you want to add it here?
No, I put I put my brunch link in
Okay.
somewhere.
That's all right. We'll talk about Go Brunch in a minute.
Yeah.
So monetization is important because bills come in spite of our creative concerns. I know this because I'm a creative person, and I haven't had a day job since 2006. What you would call a W-2. We don't use that phrase here, but I haven't worked for the man since April 2006. And this is a very good discussion, Diana. How many people are now starting to take this entrepreneurial journey? How many people do it that way?
Oh, I don't know an exact number of how many, but I do know that a lot of people are getting completely fed up with corporate America and what's going on, and certainly the instability that is there because you can be here today, gone tomorrow, based on the economy and changes in upper management and things like that. And of course, in the United States, we have a different dynamic than you have in Australia. Our benefits are tied to the companies, our health benefits. And the health benefits go up in age buckets every 4 years. It's like looking at a life insurance table. So after you reach the age of 45, your medical benefits start becoming very expensive. We as employees of those companies do not see the cost of those benefits. We only know what our copay is. But that is one of the major reasons that people get downsized because they are too expensive. And especially if they happen to be in the workforce in their mid 60s at 65, once you go on Medicare, you're also very, very susceptible to being downsized because they want you on Medicare. And instead of offering you an option of maybe paying some other way, they just get rid of you. And I could talk for hours on that subject, but that's what basically happens. And so the United States, you basically have a work window from the age of when you graduate college to about the age of 45. After that, you become at risk. And so for that reason, that's why I think a lot of people, especially if they've been through multiple downsizings, they start looking at other ways to make money. We of course, with the recession, and well, we're not in a recession technically, but with what's going on economically in our country right now, a lot of people, it's very hard to afford groceries right now. So a lot of people are looking towards part-time work and incremental income to support their day-to-day living. That's what's going on here. So that's why I think it's becoming more and more. It's for people who are really a little bit fed up, I think, with corporate. There has to be an emotional drive to move away from it, and there has to be the ability to have enough of a financial cushion. And for people who are younger than 65, there has to be the way to get the benefits. There are alternative ways to get medical benefits through our quote unquote Obamacare programs on the exchanges, but we don't have the country run medical programs that Europe and Australia do at all. We don't have any kind of government run programs unless you're on Medicaid, which means you have absolutely no income. And you can't, if you get income, then you have to get off Medicaid. So we don't really have good programs for that here. So it all depends on where these people are at in their chronology. But then I think some people, if they've built their businesses on the side well enough that they finally get to a point where it gets nicely monetized, and then they take the leap of faith and then they go into it. And a lot of people are doing it in retirement. I know a lot of people, I'm of retirement age, and a lot of people I know are creating secondary and third incomes
Mm.
to,
It's a
to
plan B,
supplement.
isn't it? It's a plan B.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
Diana, you hit nail on the head for me. For instance, I believe I'm being faced with ageism. I've been in search for 6 out of the last 8 years,
yeah,
and I've really kind of switched to the point. And I did some consulting, but I don't consider myself a salesman. So one of the things I'm thinking about pivoting, at least short term, is to find someone like MSPs that are offering, security advisory services or
yeah,
other consultancies. But at some point, I'm going to want the people. I love a partner, like a sales partner, and do something that way and start an LLC and launch. The other thing that I have a job seeker speaker that is has been doing his own, and he mentioned something, and I don't know if this exists in Australia at all, but there's a group for SMB businesses. There are like group healthcare options. I don't think it's going to
right.
be as attractive as what you would do as an employee, but at the same time, then you can write some amount of that off. So
Right. I honestly thought, Mike, that you worked for Go Brunch, that you were doing some consulting for them between you and Oli. You guys explained that platform so well the other night that I literally thought you were working for Go Brunch. So
well,
just a thought. Just
wait until well, yeah. Um, that's a we can talk offline about that. There's
okay.
some issues there, but
Yeah, all these great platforms as they start up, until they get capitalized, solidly capitalized, it is such an issue. And somebody has these good ideas, but it takes a good 10 years to ramp these things up. I just came out of Instacart. They're only 10 years old, and they've grown exponentially in the last 4 years. I just was only with them for 14 months, but I talked to the gentleman who started our division of Instacart, which was a pricing platform, and he started it out of the Silicon Valley and grew it over 10 years, and then Instacart bought it from him. And that's the quintessential entrepreneur story. But where does it leave all the rest of the people that work for him?
yeah, I
So,
think the issue with Go Brunch is the gentleman who's very lovely. I think it's more of a passion project for him than moneymaker, and that does
right.
make a difference. He
Well,
he
it's a
believes in
beautiful,
community, but
yeah, it's a beautiful platform, and yeah, you have to get the warm fuzzy along with the business. You have to mesh those two. So you always have to have the people who have the vision, the creative vision, and the warm fuzzy community. But then you have to have the group of people who are going to monetize it, because at
yep,
the end of the day, it just can't be a hobby. I mean, it's got great opportunity for people to come in and see a whole different meeting space, which we just saw. You ought to put up. I don't know if we have time, and I don't know if Keith, but Keith, have you seen his Mike's room scenes that he did that are Japanese inspired?
Yeah,
They're
pretty
absolutely
awesome. Yeah,
gorgeous.
yeah.
he's going to be putting that Diana, and we're going to be doing a show later on, and he'll be featuring those. And
Oh,
so I
perfect.
appreciate the thought, and yeah. It's just amazing though. And one of the things, Peggy is the one that's doing the expo, and she has a group. She's working with business people to use Go Brunch to to achieve. So I think the underpinnings are there, but you also have to have the founder or CEO of the product kind of along for the ride. But I think it's
Right.
happening. I think the user base, the business heads, the people have business their heads on are using it. Seems like there's a lot of services around like wellness and very similar to what you're doing. Um, you should, if you have a chance, I would just jump into the expo. I can send you the link, and just have a look around at what people are doing. I think you'll be very, very impressed, and maybe and you can reach out to Peggy and find out what the costs are relative to either. I can't remember what the thing is, but she has memberships to join this sort of
It's
virtual
called the
mall
Global
space.
Business Plaza. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, Mike, can you message me on LinkedIn with that? I think I saw
Yep.
it today. I know
Yep.
I saw it. I know I got something on it, and I will do everything to try to get on Bez's call tomorrow. It just if Bez's call was at 6 o'clock at night, I'd be there every night. I'm just
But
not
yeah,
an 8 a.m. in the morning girl. I'm sorry.
but this is the second. I hate to say this, but this is the second day of the expo. I'd really try. I'll give you the link to the expo itself because you have all these business people that are actually, they're showing their booth, their expo booth, and they have, like I said, they have services of what you're doing already, and it's I'm not asking for those services, so I wouldn't necessarily know what their rates and such are, but it's pretty inspiring to see all
Okay.
these people launching this
This is
stuff.
I'm sharing Diane the room that we had last week. Peggy has this unbelievable idea called the Global Business Plaza. And basically what it is that everyone that's using Go Brunch anyway, who doesn't have to be converted into using it, it has the option to join this community and we just share each other's products. Okay, well, Ollie's a French teacher. I'm a tech dude. Peggy's a photographer. People come on the show and say, well, this is what I'm doing, and here's the link. And if you need that, you can have it or share it with your friends. It's in a way like an online BNI. It feels like a BNI to me. But it's much cooler than that because look at the image. This was done in Dali,
Yeah.
and this is last Friday. This room was glorious, like so good. And it looks
Shadow sells. This is incredible. And just to show you how you can make money so many different ways. Shadow makes images with I don't know which AI, but and then she's
Mid-journey. She
selling
uses
them.
Mid-journey. Yeah, she uses
Yeah,
Mid-journey.
and she's selling them, and she will sell prints. I can't remember who she's using. But anyway, it's incredible. And yeah, like I said, there's so many different people. I met Debbie today. Uh, she has something for primarily for women, to kind of boost women and in getting them to be entrepreneurs. Yeah, so it's really cool.
That's great. Yeah, just message don't just message me on LinkedIn
Yep.
where I know how to get the message. I'm still figuring this screen out. I'm not sure. When you become a speaker, how can you chat? Except for the private chat, how can I can't put anything in the chat. Or I don't see
Um,
how to do that
you have to go
on
to
here.
LinkedIn and chat on LinkedIn. Unfortunately, that's one of the things I'm not real
Oh,
thrilled
It is.
about
Well,
Restream.
I'm happy to say I'm just going to call it out. The chat feature is rubbish.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
okay.
I
and Richard knows that, and he knows we're all unhappy with it. But we've got a direct line to the founder, and he's working on it.
yeah. No,
You know,
Good.
I think she was talking about Restream.
I'm talking
You
about Restream.
you
I'm talking
can't
about
talk
Restream. I
to
mean,
the
the
yeah.
Go Brunch one is okay. I've been on it, but this Restream one, I can't figure out how to do it at all. and type anything in the
What are you
chat.
trying to do?
Well, you can
Oh,
talk
well, there's a
private
whole
chat.
there's a whole chat on the right-hand side.
Yeah,
And then there's private chat, which I can type in. But when you become a speaker, can you only get into the private chat? Is that the idea?
unless you go to LinkedIn and chat on LinkedIn.
I see. Okay. Well, that's a distinction. Okay. That I see. I don't know how to use this thing at all. I mean, I've just been on it as a participant, but since LinkedIn is going to this or StreamYard, then you either have to know both or one or the other to be
Hmm.
able to do a LinkedIn Live. And the only reason I would do a LinkedIn Live is it appears that LinkedIn does not suppress the notices for LinkedIn Lives, whereas they suppress notices that have a Zoom link in it because they don't want you going to a third party link. And so I don't get wide coverage when I'm doing my job seeker groups and things like that. When I'm blasting that, when I'm sending that out to all of LinkedIn, I expect it to get to all of LinkedIn, and it doesn't. And then
George
time is
Pace
of
is
the
doing something
essence, and
right.
I don't like all that. It's just they're restricting the ability to grow a business at a decent pace.
Are you paying? Are you paying them?
Oh yeah, I'm paying it. Pardon my French. Yes, I'm paying.
You're paying for
Um,
premium.
I'm paying for business premium right now on my personal profile, and I switched to that so I could get the rotating slideshow banner and more in-mails that I could send. And I was on career premium, but I did this because I wanted the slideshow banner of 5 banner capability across behind my picture that would rotate because I use that as billboard advertising for all my events. So I have my book a call with me for job seekers and for employed people, which are 2 different rates. And then I have my master class, and then I'll put my job seeker group up there. But right now I have the job seeker group advertised with the book a call with me.
Yeah.
And that's why I do it.
Well, if
69.90.
you're
I
paying, you
paid for the
should get
full
all
year.
of the features. Like, let's play this out. So, what do you get? What do you get with the paid version, and is it worth it? Are you happy with it?
Oh, I'm happy with it with the banner. Yeah, I'm very happy, and we're going to see how that goes. I'm getting a lot more traction, and I can still do everything I did with Career Premium. I was in a situation where I had just paid my annual for Career Premium back in December, so they credited me that, and then I didn't have to pay too much more in the difference to pay the annual for the business one. That's why I did it right now. Next year when it renews, it'll be a horse of a different color, but I hope that next year when it renews, that won't be an issue because I'll have enough clients by that point. So that's I love it because I love the rotating banner.
Yeah. Well, what happened? I don't know if you were part of this, Diana. This is a very interesting discussion. For 3 years, we were able to do LinkedIn audio events from our phone.
Yes.
They weren't great, but they were free and they worked, and you didn't need any special tech. But then in January this year, you have to have a third party to do this. We
Right.
choose Restream. I mean, this is a very good choice.
Yeah.
I think it was
Good
you who
time.
was saying that Restream is a better option for you because StreamYard's gone up. I want to have this discussion. So on the free version of Restream, I can send this file to 2 places. It streams in 720p, and I get 6 people on the call. For the
Yeah.
$19 a month US,
Yeah.
$30 Australian, I can have 10 people on the call, and I can send it to 3 places. This is a lot cheaper than StreamYard is now, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And the other piece about the green screen and the virtual background, you have to pay to get that on StreamYard. You do not get that for free. So if you have I have a virtual background that I use that has my logo on it, and it has my branding picture. And on StreamYard, I could not get that to look right. It looked okay, but I could never get my hair, and my head to look proper. And I've just lost the whole stage.
Yeah. No, that's all right.
Did you
I'm
change the
playing around.
picture? Okay. So I've never I never was happy with the appearance of StreamYard. I thought it was fine to use and everything like that, but I never was happy with the video quality for the money. So I stopped it because I didn't need to restream. I was using it to record videos, which I can do just as well in Zoom and record all my meetings in Zoom. So I stopped that payment, and then I wasn't doing audio events, but I know a lot of people who were affected by that, especially Amalia. Um, so my friend Kenneth was doing audio events all the time, and I was on a bunch of audio events, which was very handy. And then they stopped that at the end of the year. So I need to be learning Restream now if I'm going to do a LinkedIn Live. I don't have to,
Ah,
but I can do that. And then Go Brunch. I may look. I'm going to look into that more. So I'm going to move my job seeker groups and stuff over to that, so I can have a much better visual. And then to the point that someone made earlier, yeah, you don't have to turn your camera on, which I don't require people to turn their cameras on anyway, but you don't have to do that. And then people just feel comfortable and they can come and relax. And if I can have a more beautiful Zen look to it, then it creates the ambiance I want to create with my brand.
yeah. And look, that's a very good segue into the event that I'm going to do with Mike in a few weeks. Do you want to tell us about that event? We're actually called, and I do 3 events a week. Let me just talk about that in a minute. I do 3 events a week, and most people have said, mate, where is Keith today? People have said this to me. Where is Keith today? So I went and got that URL, whereiskeithtoday.com, right? Which I thought was a pretty cute idea. And that takes you to my calendar. And I have 3 events a week until the end of April, one of which is with Mike. And we're going to talk about how to run virtual events on Go Brunch, aren't we? It's going to be a great show. I mean, it's just going to be such a great show. Tell us about what you think that might look like. Mike, what do you think?
Well, I'm trying to find the. I have too many tabs up again. Um, I think the idea I think that we had was to split it up into various types of events. So I think we had one was a rock concert, one was poetry, one was a comedian. I can't remember what other ones we had, but I'm speaking with so many different creators, and the literally the world is your oyster relative to what the possibilities are. Um, yeah, I mean, one of the examples is an escape room. We have people that are spending money to go to a physical escape room. Why don't I create one virtually? And even maybe have people go in, like the helpers that you have in the real ones, and just give, they're there kind of just to watch, not really, and to help if absolutely needed. But that one of the creators there, that's basically he's the Superman of what they call the brunch hackers, is he's created as part of his and if you go to the expo tomorrow, you have to look up Claudio. It's in the upper right hand side of the of the expo. He's actually done it's sort of like an escape. It's not technically an escape, but you go through this house and you find all these hidden things, and you have to you get not points, but he has a little thing that tallies up what you've done, and it's unbelievable. And he put that together relatively. I mean, he's a freaking wizard, but he put that together, yeah, like in probably less than a week. So, like I said, I mean, it's unbelievable. And then you see some of the things that these other folks are doing. Like I said, mostly around the services, like health services. But I mean, think of someone that is offering. I mean, it can almost it could be your local and Keith. We kind of touched on this before, but not in the same way. I could pitch having a local bar, or anywhere where they need a follow. You need to build a following, or maybe it's a restaurant, and so or like a coffee shop or a cigar shop. It's like, what are you talking about? Why would you have? Well, you're building a following. You're building a community. So when they can't go to the bar, they're hanging out talking. I mean, pick anything that is, yeah, jazz, same thing. So you could have a jazz band. They don't have to physically be at the jazz club. They can go be anywhere in the world, actually. Now, there's going to be some challenges relative to technology, like you may want to have the jazz the guys in the same room because of bandwidth or lag or whatever. Pretty soon, the well, we're almost to the place now where that's not a huge deal. But again, you may have some technical glitches, but some of the ideas that I'm just, like I said, my head's kind of exploding about thinking of all these use cases. But even for people like Diana, I think it makes tremendous sense, that she's offering, one-on-one counseling, and you just get a sense, and you can do soft, like this whole, I don't know how to even describe it, but it's like having an office that just engenders a feeling of safety. And again, Diana, if you go there, there's a couple guys that actually have those types of rooms, and you just get the sense of there's one room in particular. You just want to relax, and there's the AI. I think they're using maybe prompts with the AI to say, I want an atmosphere of safety and a safe
Yeah,
place, and it actually it does it. It's very, very, um, or like I think you saw, Diana. I had a
I
meditation
saw that. Yeah,
room,
it's
and
phenomenal. Yeah.
and you can put you can have in the background some soothing music while as soon as you go into the room. Of course, you want to be able to turn that off, and you have a gong that you can bang on the gong and get the gong sound, and just it's just more and more and more. Claudio Claudio has one where there's rain on the window pane, and he has rain playing as a
Oh, that's
sound in the background. I
incredible.
think
Yeah,
you can turn that on
somebody's
and
gonna have
off.
to show me how to do all that.
It's really
I'm
immersive.
I'm more of a
Let me pick up on some ideas. So this is how I do it, Diana.
yep.
So I was interviewed in New Zealand recently on a
Hmm.
on a podcast with a friend of mine in Auckland. So what I did was on the top left hand corner, I embedded that or that room. This link is global gobrunchsocial.com. If you want to have a look at it, I'll type that in a minute. So on the top left hand corner, there's an interview with me talking about this, just in case you come in when I'm not there. Right? So you can put whatever you want in there. You can put your website, a video, a link to your CD, a link to an event, a book, and this is all done with Go Brunch. And then on the top right hand corner, this is how I'm doing it because I'm a bit of a dumbass. I've just taken a post from LinkedIn to say, look, check out my upcoming shows. And if you click on that link inside of Go Brunch, it'll take you to my Where is Keith Today page. And that's what it does. So this site takes the idea of what we're doing here up a notch, right? This is okay.
Oh, Keith, you. I, I, I'm sorry, I sound like a salesman for Go Brunch, but I think you missed a little bit. It's asynchronous. You just said you got interviewed, and it's sitting off to the left to be played at the user's leisure. So I don't have to be listening to you, or you can have past shows. I don't have to be there, so it's asynchronous. So yes, this is awesome that we're doing these shows and they're going out live and everything. But the power of community in this asynchronous mode is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's simply a matter of what you can do. So as a goal, and
Yep.
this is one thing I'd like you to do for me if you're up for it, I have decided that I want one of my 5 goals that I've set myself this year is I want to be interviewed more on people's podcasts. So if you know people that have a podcast and or you have one yourself and you want me to be a guest, I want to be a guest. Right? So I'm just going to put it out there. I've done this before. I know what I'm talking about. I'm pretty clever. I can talk, and that's what I talk about. Right? This is what the show is about. This interview in New Zealand. Now, our friend Bez. This is very cool because I want you to do this. Our friend Bez. Many of us on this call know Bez. He has a show on iHeartRadio. right? So he interviewed me last week, and that will come out very soon. And that show, which is loosely called "What is Social Audio," he interviewed me about this, right? So I'm going to be on iHeartRadio in a few weeks talking about this. So let's all support each other. First of all, if you want to go on Bez's podcast, let me know, because he's looking for guests. When his show comes out, let's support him, because he's starting his new podcast and he needs to get some traction. And it's a circular argument. We each help each other and we all win. Yeah. It's a genius, isn't it?
Yep.
This is one thing, Keith, that is, I think, very special about the Go Brunch population, the content creators, is that everyone is really looking to support each other. So there's even the people that may be doing similar services are not really competing with each other, and it's really heartwarming, particularly in today's atmosphere of division and scrapping at each other, that these people, very creative, sometimes creative people can be a little fun to deal with, but I have yet to meet really any abrasive or people that I've had any major issues with. So it's been a real treat.
Yeah, and you find your tribe. So I just believe that you get more flies with honey than vinegar.
Mm.
So I just spend all day, every day, helping others. And here's what I'm doing. Americo, jump in, man. I want you to tell me what are we up to? You were at 7 when we started. How is your YouTube channel going? Have we got you some goodies?
All
Where
right,
is it?
let's take
Let's
a
have a
look.
look.
So a live refresh. We are now at 14.
Hey, look at that. We're getting there.
Very
Now,
nice.
Now that's 7 people today as a result of this call and this concept of sharing that have now gone to your channel and said, look, I'll click that button. We're getting closer.
Yep.
We've
That's
found a hack that might even get you in before 50. And I just want to do this. I want to be that guy. I just want to be that guy that's always helping others first. I'll get my turn. I'm getting my turn. I was interviewed on I'm going to be on iHeartRadio next week. I've done the work. I'm getting the gigs. I'm paying the bills. I've got plenty of spare capacity, and I just want to use that spare capacity to help Americo get his YouTube channel going, or Diana get her Go Brunch show up, um, or Mike did his. This room is so cool. It's so cool. This job seeker room. I just want everyone to be happy. Like I'm the quintessential helper dude, and I'll get my turn. It all works out. It does. It all works out. Keith Pollyanna Keller. But it does. It all works out. I'm paying the bills. I've got food in my belly. I've got a big belly. So I've got plenty of food going in there. So we all need to help each other. Why don't we take that opportunity now? And please, if you're listening and you want to be part of this, jump in. Let's all give each other the kudos. Mike, we'll start with you, top of the rung. What do you need us to do for you today? What's your thing? What do you need? A functioning mic?
Helps if I unmute myself. I would love for people to come to the Job Seekers Hub and at least have a look and really see the potential, and contact me. The other thing is, if you need help with world building inside of Go Brunch, I am seriously thinking about pivoting into either at least a part-time position doing that.
Well, you've got the natural talent to do that. Like your rooms are so good. Like they're just so good that why would you bother learning it when you can do it? I mean, I don't pay people to service my car. I don't know how to do that. I'm not learning that. I'll just pay someone else. I don't pay someone to cook my Thai food on a Saturday night. I could learn to cook green curry and roti, and I could learn that, but I just like going out and getting someone else to cook my meals. I love that. And you have this skill, this absolutely pure skill. So
Yep.
I haven't gone into this room, but I'll go in and take a screenshot of it. I think it might allow me to. I'm just trying to work out a way to go in there so I don't kill this site. But that's it. So we need to go to your Go Brunch site. We need to have a look at that. And if
Yep.
anyone needs this done for them, you're the guy using Dali. You're not going to explain how to do it. You're just going to do it. Yeah. That's your skill.
Yeah, to be frank with you, I mean, like you said, it's not even so much a skill as for Dolly anyway. It's patience and really working out a system. Once you have the system worked out, it's still you want to be able to create this immersive experience, and so the challenge is really going to be like Diana saw the one that I did for the Japanese flavored one. So it's getting into the head of not the business owner as much as the business owner's customer, and so really working and understanding what that what that market is, and then building for that market. And like I said, once you did it, there's some there's some other things behind the scenes, like we're going to have to work on interacting with other things, because the way Go Brunch works, it's extensible, like billing and so forth, and we already talked about some of that. um and just little stuff like having calendar information, like Luma is integrated or can be very easily integrated into Go Brunch. One thing I didn't talk about is AI, so you can actually have your own AI chatbots. I'm not at a place where I can do that at the moment, but I will be moving quickly into that. So if you wanted something, think of it as sort of getting back to that agent that we were talking about, is you could have an intelligent chatbot that you can program with data, and it can answer sort of on your behalf 24/7, 365. you know that you ask it asks for your email and phone number. It forwards that information to you, and then you set up, or you just say go set up a call with me. And in essence, you're having this, the software do all this lead generation for you.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's mind blowing. Mind
it
blowing. My brain is starting to fry.
it
We've been
really
going
is.
to we've been going about 2.5 hours, and I can sense that my brain is sort of saying, "Hey, Keith, enough." I can sense that my brain's starting to sort of deteriorate. What about you, Americo? Apart from the YouTube channel, tell us about what you're doing and how can we help you?
Well, it is. I've learned so much today, and uh, I don't know where to begin. I'm sending DMs. I know I've dropped a DM for Diana. I was in the middle of writing to Michael, like, let's have a virtual chat. It's overdue. We keep showing up in these rooms. I know there's a
Yep.
lot going on. And you know what? Let's just keep the sense of community going. I really love what we've accomplished here today. You know, it is tremendous, and it kind of aligns with what I want to do to help my customers and help my community. It's help each other be seen, heard, and remembered. And this
Yeah.
is an
It all comes
exemplary.
back. I mean, it has to, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
So I think that's really cool. Diana, how can we help you? What's the one thing we can do for you today before
I
my
think
brain completely
just
fries over?
connect with me on LinkedIn and follow me. And if you know any job seekers that are out there, invite them to my job search support job seeker support group, which that's on my profile. So if you connect with me, the link to register for that is right there.
Look,
You
let's
just
pick
have
up on that, Jim. I've never really picked up on this before. when you say job seeker, are you saying someone who's got a job that wants a better job, or someone who's lost their job that needs a job? Two different
Both, but it's mainly the people who've lost their job and who are looking for a new job. That's who I'm working with right now. But I have clients that are employed and looking for something new.
Mm. And
So
what can you do?
the group
Let's
that
put
I'm
this back
running
in.
is specifically for people who are in transition who need a supportive environment to be in. And I have a speaker come in on the first Friday of the month. I do it on the second and fourth Fridays of the month, every other week. So the second Friday of the month, I usually have a speaker come in, and we talk about a specific topic and take Q&A. The other thing I do that's different than any other coach is I'm opening it up with a meditation. So we do a 2-minute meditation, body relaxation thing before we get into the business of the search, because the idea is you're mellowing out Friday for the weekend. So that really functions as my lead magnet, and getting people to just be aware that I'm out there and there's an alternative to, you know, because I'm doing the meditation, the stress relief piece of it. That's what sets me apart from other traditional job search
Tell me why
practitioners.
you think that's important. I meditate every day, so I'm with you. I know how
Well,
this works, but tell me
it's very
why
important.
meditation
It's
is so
very
important.
important for stress relief. I myself am a person who's been downsized now 7 times. And yeah, I went on a giant spiritual journey to ask the question of why was this happening to me and not other people. And it's clearly because I was being called to do. I also found that in outplacement, they don't really address the emotional side of job search. They don't address the stress. It's all about hunting the deer, getting out there, finding another job, doing all the tactical sides of job search. And it's all about that. It's not about, it's making everybody crazy, because I mean, just formatting a resume, formatting LinkedIn, and then running through the gauntlet of the AI bots and the ghosting after interviews is enough to drive anybody to drink. I mean, it's not a good situation. So I provide that relaxation and that making sense of it, and then helping people with another alternative in terms of looking for additional streams of income to protect themselves in the future. And I have a different approach. I have the approach of a job seeker. I have absolutely no background whatsoever in HR or recruiting. So I'm a different type of career coach.
I
Well,
love
your
it.
superpower, Diana, is that you have been through it, right?
Yes,
And the power of these, what I'm calling it's, for lack of a better word, it's a community of like-minded individuals you have the empathy for,
right.
where other people don't, or
No,
whatever. I mean, I think there's a whole fear factor, but I'm not going to go down that road for
no,
this
the fear
evening.
factor is off the charts. What they instill
Yeah.
in people, and people
So
are. It's yeah, it's
there's
wrong.
tremendous power in just understanding you are not alone, and
Right.
and that we can work together to support each other. And this is the power of community. That's why I'm so excited about this. Is there's tremendous power in knowing you're not alone, knowing that you can work together, you can support each other, and that eventually you will land. Now, some of that may be landing a position where you're going out and starting your own position, your own company, or at least a side gig, right? And
Right.
again, with folks over a certain age, I think that's going to actually become the new reality.
Right. And it may not look like how people think it's going to look, but that is precisely where the spirituality and the meditation and the mindfulness come in.
Mm.
Because to reconcile that thought process in your mind takes a little time. It takes a lot of introspection. It takes a lot of soul searching. And sometimes you're just being called to do other things. I could give a perfect example of just what's happened to me this week. I've had more opportunities like this to meet new people. I signed a client today and I signed another client, and I last night at 1:30 in the morning I got my inspiration for the copy from my master class. Now, if I was working a W-2 job, or a 9 to 5 job, I would not be getting these types of inspirations. And it's just I know that I have finally found my lane, and I just I want a platform or a pulpit, I should say, for lack of a better word, to evangelize this, because my motto is job search does not need to hurt, and it just doesn't. And people need to look at it as a journey instead of, oh my God. And the poor people who don't realize how long it's going to take, when you understand the market and you understand the data behind what's being tracked in the United States, I should say, I can't speak beyond the United States, you understand that they only track 6 months of data because most states only give you 6 months of unemployment. Most people think they're going to get a job in a month to 6 weeks. In this economy, it's taking upwards of 7, 8, 9 months. So, and the older you get, the longer that timeline goes, as we talked about earlier. So people don't understand that, and that's what drives the frustration. When you understand the money, the time, the market, and you take your skills and you start looking and you keep looking and you find multiple streams of income to keep you going, yeah, you get to a certain point where you really kind of don't want to go back and be another 9-to-5er, because you will never be free when you work for somebody else.
You can't go back, can you? You can't go back.
You can't. I'm at that place right now. I definitely need to find multiple streams of income, and I have a timeline. I'm very, very well aware of it, and need to find it. And I can't go back to corporate. I look at these job descriptions and I almost throw up. I hate to be. It's America's laughing. I mean, I look at these and I look at what's required, and I'm looking at that going, I can't do. I mean, friends of mine have sent me jobs based on what I used to do, and I'm like, nope, not going to do the analytics anymore. So, yeah, I'm very passionate about it, as you can tell, and I tend to perform a lot better at night like this. So that's why I'm laughing about the time of this call, because I'm not this awake at 8 a.m, Mike. There's no way.
Yeah.
On Bez's call.
It's very interesting you say that, Diana, because my shows are normally at 10 a.m. Melbourne time.
Yeah.
Which after we go back to daylight saving, which is or from daylight saving for us, which is the first week of April,
right.
Our shows will be at 6 p.m. for you, which is almost ideal if you're in the eastern states. So you're welcome on my show anytime. I do 3 a week, and you can see that there's a very strong community here. We're doing a lot of great work.
Huge.
Absolutely. So I think everyone's had a turn to wrap up. What I might do, we've been going about 2.5 hours. The way I like to wrap up is that I play a little bit of music and some of the sounds that I've used on that day, because I've got a little gadget. I've got a little gadget with all these different sounds.
Wow.
It's got to have sounds, because there's gaps. This is one of the things. I might even do a masterclass on this. There's gaps in the market. There's gaps in the show where you can't get a signal or someone can't get the mic, and I've got to sort of massage the show to make it flow. So I bought stuff. So the way I finish my show is I play a little bit of music, and I play all the sounds and I play all the slides. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play this soundtrack that I've found on Pixabay, and that'll take a couple of minutes, and it'll just be a nice way to round out the show. You can stay with me if you like, or it's just basically a soundtrack, like the theme song of a show, because I love TV. So I'm going to do that now, and next week I've got 3 more shows, and we're featuring Mike in 2 weeks. Next week I've got a big show about Go Brunch, so please come to that. And I think I've hit my limit, nearly 3 hours, and I think I need some food. So I'm just going to go do my thing, and I'll see you on the other side.
Take care. Thank you, Keith. All the best.
Thank you.
You've been listening to Where is Keith Today on Restream.
Wow. Wow. Wow.